Hello everybody, thanks for joining us again. I'm Jerry Ulrich with bMobile Software, and today I wanted to put together a quick video surrounding a topic that seems to be gaining momentum here within the last few months, getting a lot of phone calls about this process, and specifically with Walmart for whatever reason, but a lot of DSD companies have been calling in with questions about DEX, so wanted to put a few thoughts down and share them with everybody. Number one, what is DEX? Stands for Direct Exchange, and DEX is a form of EDI, which I know we've touched on in some previous videos that we put together, electronic data interchange. And what does DEX do? Simply put, allows a retailer to electronically receive invoice information that the DSD company has built for them. So by design, I think it's really supposed to save everybody time on both sides and eliminate a lot of the manual work that is involved with building an invoice. So kind of walk through this process with me. A bread distributor might show up to Walmart and walk in, and first thing they need to do is survey the shelf. So they count the shelf, they're calculating credits, they're putting down what they need to bring in off of their truck or what they're going to invoice, right? So they walk out and they might load up their cart or their dolly and get in line to bring in the product, right? And this is where the check-in process begins with the receiver. If you don't use DEX, process is something like this. You're gonna literally stand shoulder to shoulder with the receiver, and you're going to call out the items that are on your tray and count out with them the quantities, and they're going to scan and key in those items and those quantities, validating that the UPCs are correct, item numbers are correct, pricing is correct, everything along those lines. And that can take a little bit of time to process that with the receiver. If you do use DEX, once you've built the invoice and you get in line and you're checking in with the receiver, the first thing you're going to do is take that beefy DEX cable and you're going to plug it into their system and transmit that information electronically. So right away you're saving that time, right? The receiver still has to go through their process. They're still going to double check the UPCs, key in what they need to key in, make sure that the quantities are correct. But using that DEX process is really going to save everybody time and really get you checked in a timely manner. So let's talk a little bit more in depth about the top reasons why a retailer like Walmart is maybe pushing for DEX right now. Number one would be, again, the ease of receiving that information electronically. It kind of speaks for itself, right? You're going to be saving some time doing that. Number two, and maybe more important than that, is that quicker double validation process that you're going through. Walmart receivers, it's their job to make sure that the UPC numbers are correct, make sure that the quantities are correct and that the pricing is correct. And doing multiple steps of this check-in process manually, leaves you vulnerable to making mistakes with that. So a quicker double validation is really maybe the top reason that they're forcing you and what they're looking for, what a store like Walmart is really looking for to minimize those mistakes. And number three might be even more so now than ever with everything that's going on, is this no-touch receiving. So, keeping your safe distance away from the other workers there as you're standing in line and going through that check-in process, I think is really important with everything that's going on right now. So those are the three things Walmart is looking for: the ease of receiving, the validation, and the no-touch policy. And let's talk a little bit why a DSD company should really think about applying DEX and jumping on board with their requests. Saving time right away. The driver is going to save a lot of time at these stops where they're allowed to DEX. Go back to that process of walking in and surveying and doing credits and calculating the invoice. You're going through these multiple steps, and then you get to the receiver and you're checking in, and you maybe use a handheld, maybe not. You maybe got everything on paper. Once you've gone through this validation process and check-in, they may require you to take their gun that's plugged in, and you have to rekey everything in yet again. So you may be not only doubling, but tripling your efforts to process this one invoice for this retailer. So think about that and how much time your driver could save by implementing this DEX process. And another reason, whether it's right or wrong, and I laugh when I think about this. I've seen it in action. A delivery driver who does DEX might get special treatment. You know, you go through the shelf survey process, and now you're waiting in line to go through the receiver check-in. And if you do DEX, you might be able to cut in front of the line. And again, right or wrong, that's just the reality of it. But saving time on the DSD delivery side of things, and time equals money. So really think about that and how that would benefit your company. So hopefully this video gives you some things to think about, and would love to connect and talk further about it, answer any further questions that you may have. And always visit us at www.bmobileroute.com. Feel free to put in some good comments here, like the video. I'm excited to connect and help everybody out. And thank you for your time, and stay safe. We'll see you next time.